All right, let's actually assign something in Google Classroom. So first go to classroom.google.com and click the classwork button and then click create. From there, let's just for now take assignment and then give your assignment a title. I'll just call mine sample for today and provide instructions. And then you need to attach an assignment, I would think, something for them to do, to complete, maybe a template, a graphic organizer, maybe written directions are on here. Maybe they're sentence starters. So you can create things from scratch if you just want a blank document and you're going to make it right there. Or most teachers, myself included, have already made the document before I got to this point. So I would click add and then probably take Google Drive. But know that you can also upload links, YouTube videos, files like PDFs, or connect to YouTube videos. And you can have multiple things within this assignment. I'm going to click Google Drive for our example. So what's happening now is it's going to connect to my Google Drive account and give me the opportunity to sift through what's in there and pull that assignment or that document and attach it to this assignment. The default will be to comb through my most recent things that I've been working on. And if you think about your workflow as a teacher, it's probably the right, chances are it will pull up the most recent document. But if it didn't, you could always click on My Drive and go looking for it in your folder structure. You can also search for it if you can't find it in Drive, but you remember, gosh, it was called Personal Narrative, but it was from 6 months ago. If you type in Personal Narrative, it will pull out any documents with that title. So I happen to know I just worked on this, so I'll take Personal Narrative, just one click, and then I'll click Insert. Now from here, I need to decide, how do I want my students to see or view this file? The default is that students can view the file, as in your whole class views the same file. Nobody types on it, they can only see it. Or I can change it to all students can edit the single file. It's not too often that you would put all, say, 25 students on one document, unless you were doing some kind of collaborative writing exercise. So I don't use that one very often. My most common one that I use is I make a copy for each student. So Google is going to conveniently click File, Make a Copy, and dole out a brand new copy to every single student in my class. That is amazing. Back when this wasn't an option, we had to tell our students to click File, Make a Copy. And I still have to do that once in a while for some other projects, but it's so convenient to have this setting. So I really recommend it, but there is one catch. You have to have your directions, and this document has to be set right before you deploy it. And if it's the first time you might teach a lesson, sometimes you realize things, you tweak it. If you're a new teacher, things come up, you realize that maybe the rubric's wrong, the directions aren't specific enough, there's flaws, there's typos, whatever it is, that happens, right? After you dole this out and you go back and change yours, it doesn't update for all those students. So if it's something that I've used before and I'm pretty settled with it, I will go make a copy for each student. In another video, I'll show you an alternative idea that has worked well for me. But most teachers will click make a copy for each student, get this document, slideshow, whatever it is set, and then write really good directions here, because these you can change. These instructions in the Google Classroom assignment itself, you can change as many times as you want. It's the document that you attach that once you dole it out to every student, it's out there, okay? Then let's talk about the point structure over here. Lots of teachers do not pay attention to this because you have to keep grades in Skyward or PowerSchool or whatever you use for your grading system, your SIS. So teachers will usually just put in a due date. So I'll pick out a due date of Friday, and I do pick a time just so that is defined for me. And then you should stick it under the right topic. If you don't, it'll show up at the top and then you'll have to drag it in the right place anyway. And our students, especially if we go virtual, they really rely on appropriately named topics to kind of coach them on where to look. I would suggest your topics be the week that you're on. like the week of whatever that Monday is, something like that. And then explain to them that's the structure you are using. So I'm going to tuck mine under example topic 1. And then this is pretty cool. I love the fact that the rubrics have been attached. It just makes grading a lot easier. Before, I had to have a stack of rubrics on paper, blank rubrics, and I'm grading here on my desk and then still giving paper back to my students, or I was scanning them and emailing them back, or I was trying to write like the rubric feedback in the comment section. Very annoying. So I'm very happy that this rubric feature came out. Even though most of you won't keep your grades in Google Classroom, you certainly might enjoy using the rubric. It is a nice workflow. So when you click rubric, you can make your rubric right there, and you can reuse rubrics from previous semesters and other courses. It's fantastic. I'll cover that in another video. Just know that that is something that you should consider. So you don't have to have your rubric set when you deploy this assignment, by the way. So I'm going to do this later. I don't have time right now. I just want to get this out to my student. So I will make a copy for each student. I'm just going to review this. Looks good. I'll click assign. And now what's happening is every student enrolled in my Google class is now getting a message that they've been assigned that, and it will show up on the classwork tab of my Google Classroom. So there it is. I put it under topic number 1. If I want to switch this, there we go. That looks better. It follows any kind of rearranging I do. And I also remembered under the settings to set mine so that classwork was not posting to the tab, to the stream. I think that's important. I don't want my students to have to look at that because the stream can get pretty muddy. So there you go. That is how you would post an assignment to Google Classroom.